Who is Esau and Jacob in the Bible? The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob and I hated Esau. See, the Catholic Church, they tell you that God loves everybody. You can't love everybody if you hate somebody. Clearly, he hates Esau. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So why does he hate Esau? Let's get some reasons why he hates Esau. This is Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. All right, what is that word, fornicator? What does that mean? Lest there be any fornicator. Let's get what that is right there. Because he said, God said he hates Esau and he's a fornicator. What is that word? Pornos. That's where you get the word porno from. The biggest porn industries right here in America, in the Western world, man. Whoremonger. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. A male prostitute. A man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. A fornicator. Say that's why he hates Esau. He's your man, Sam Smith. This is what they glorify here in America, man. In Esau's land. Fornicator. 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 What's that? FC. Fornicator. All right. Modern Judaism, this is from 1830. We're going to go to page 231. Start from, says first, that the descendants of Esau, the sworn enemies of the descendants of Jacob, even to the end of the world, were at first a small nation, inhabiting Mount Seir and the adjacent country, contiguous to the land of Canaan, that they were easily confined within their own limits as long as the Israelites enjoyed a great and formidable empire in Canaan. But that after the powerful republic of the 12 tribes was destroyed by the Assyrians and Babylonians, they wonderfully increased in numbers and strength, extended their dominion towards the west, spread their colonies far and wide, subjugated Italy, so they weren't the original Italians, founded Rome and the Roman Empire. The original Italians and Romans were the Etruscans and Minoans, dark-skinned Japhetic people. It says, at length entirely overturned the Jewish state, which had been restored after the termination of the Babylonian captivity, the second temple being destroyed by Titus Vespasian, an Edomite, a Roman, and that in the present day professing the religion of the Jesus of Nazareth. This is where you get their modern day Christians, the present day being 1830. All right. It says, which they were the first of all nations to embrace. So why? Because the Israelites were in Rome. The Greco-Roman Empire. Remember, Paul wrote a letter to the Israelites in Rome called Romans. The Israelites in Thessalonica and Philippi. That's what Paul was writing to, the Israelites in these places. He wasn't writing to the Europeans or the Edomites in those places. Why? Because they worshiped different gods. Polytheism. They were persecuting the Jews, the Israelites. They hated Israelites. They were hanging them from crucifixes, hanging them from trees. It says that they hold the dominion over all Europe. So these are the Europeans of today. The Swedes, the Dutch, the British, so forth and so on. Esau detaining in captivity his brother Jacob. Why does it say that? Because we were still in slavery. We didn't get emancipated till 1865. So at this time, we were still in captivity, and he calls us Jacob. So the scholars knew even back then, at least as far as regards the tribe of Judah, till his Messiah ben David shall appear. Secondly, that the prophecies of the prophets against Esau, Edom, Seir, and the cities of Rome. Flip to the next page, 232, especially those of Isaiah, talking about the prophecies against Esau and Edom. Jeremiah and Obadiah have not yet received their full accomplishment, for that though the house of Esau has experienced some particular judgments of God on account of the injuries at different periods of time inflicted upon Israel, yet the final vengeance on account of that last and great injury, the destruction of the second temple by Titus, and the transportation of the Jews into captivity. What is that? the transatlantic slave trade, in which they are still most opprobriously detained, still here in America. This is 1830, he's saying this. Is yet impending over it, to be executed in the time of the Messiah. So when Christ returns, there's going to be a judgment for the Edomites who had us in slavery. That's why Romans 9:13 says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. It says, that this is foretold by the prophets in all their denunciations of the severest plagues against the house of Esau, the cities of Edom and Mount Seir, which all belong to Rome and the Christians. We're going to get into that in a few. Talk about the Christians, the modern day Christians, because the original Christians were the Jews who followed Christ. That's Acts 11:26. And that the fate of Christians at that time will be far more dreadful than that of the Mohammedans. Because under Muhammad, he also was a murderous individual who forced Islam on the people, on Israelites at the time of the 7th century. It says, at Bardanel particularly says, the slaughter of the Turks in the future battle will not be so great as that of the Christians. Talking about the modern Christians, European Christians. For many of the Turks will escape according to Isaiah. But of the Christians, Obadiah says, there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.